Okay, here we go. Beautiful, beautiful condition. Selmer Mark VI France, number 206 and change, and in just pretty much unbelievable condition. Not absolutely perfect, but just a couple little scuffs down there. Usually this side is just obliterated with scratches from chairs and belt buckles and spikes and stuff. Very nice engraving. This is actually a Euro model, so there's two different styles. So this is made in France, in Paris, and assembled by third and fourth generation best technicians in the world, put together in France for the European market. And usually they're not engraved, but this is a rare model that is actually engraved, and it also has the optional high F sharp key on it, which is pretty rare on the Mark VI's. He had to special order the high F sharp on it, which is just wonderful for a nice bright F sharp or getting up to the altissimo. It's the only way I can hit a G. Again, there's one little bump in the bottom guard, but the guard pretty much did its job, and again, it's pretty hard to see, but yeah, right there, just a little bump there. And but usually the bottom, all my friends have these horns, and the bottoms are all messed up, the sides are all gone, the lacquer's all gone. This lacquer is about 99.37. Bell is basically in perfect condition. Usually they're all slammed up from microphones and such, being slammed down the bell. It doesn't feel like it has much play on it. The tops of the pearls are really sharp. I mean, I can feel the edges on the pearl, which means it has been played very much at all. And the spring tension is pretty darn stiff, more than most Mark VI's I've played, and which again tells me it hasn't been played a whole bunch, and again by the wear on it. The other problem, again, I just got in a beautiful Series 3 alto. Looks great, pull the neck out, got big scars on the side of the neck from the neck being pulled down. So this neck is very nice. I don't see any previous damage on it. Just put a new cork on it, so the cork's cool. The pads are the whole upper stack just repadded. Repadded those with Selmer metal domed rivet pads, like the newer style Selmers. The bottom one somebody repadded at some time with the very large flat, domed metal resonators with no rivet, and very good size. And there's a couple plastic resonators thrown in on the bottom half. They're in good shape that aren't, figuring out why replace them. But very tight. Usually these side keys are clicky like crazy. They've got the ball joint style mechanism on here, and people come in and I grease them up and everything for the studio, and it gives them about 1,000 notes before they start clicking again. And this is very, very tight, almost perfectly silent. And again, the lacquer is just in crazy nice shape. There is a little sign up here, a little disturbance in the lacquer where it might have had a dent right here, but again, it was very nicely done, and you can't even tell. Really had to look hard for that one. So normally these are put together bow to body, and most of these are just a dry fit. And since I had the bell off, I was working on it. I epoxied the fit here just to make sure it's going to be airtight, because those dry fits will tend to leak a little bit. So the cool thing, a lot of guys solder them, but that's really a mess because you burn all the lacquer and everything. So this is an epoxy finish. If it ever has to come apart, just a little light heat, the epoxy will let go and just take it apart again. So no problem. Plastic adjustable thumb rest, of course. And again with the optional high F sharp. So with the regular altissimo F sharp, you play the regular F, and then you add the side B flat, and then sometimes the F to bring it in tune. So, or the F. And the F, yeah, bringing the F key brings down. So you have to basically hit two keys. And that's actually quite in tune, but with the high F sharp key, only have to push down one finger and it speaks a little better. That's what the F. And that's the only way I can get the G is with the F sharp, and I just lift up the A finger here. But there's nothing in the world, I mean, you just play one note like a G on this thing, and you can tell it's a Mark VI. It just is so much different than any other saxophone I've played. I've played every saxophone in the world, and every note just absolutely jumps out of the horn. It just has so much power to it, and you just play that G, and you just barely blow, and it just actually smokes. And then of course the low B flat. It just, as soon as you hit that low beat, the whole thing just starts shaking. So, and again, you can play down there nice and easy. So that tells you it's really sealy nice with all those fresh pads in there. And again, hardly anywhere on the key work whatsoever. And again, right down to the B flat. So this is like a number 5 mouthpiece. If you put like a 7 or a 9, you'd be peeling wallpaper. So probably the most springy action I felt on a 6 in a long time. It feels like close to like a newer S80 series or Series 3 or something like that. So it feels relatively new as far as the key tension. And played marvelously in tune. I put it on the tuner and it's just barely moving the needle. The high F sharp is really nice. All the modern horns have it, whether you want it or not. But it's nice to have the option on the old one. So just marvelous, marvelous shape. And if this was a US model, the lacquer would be a little bit darker. The US models, they put a gold emulsion in the lacquer, so it looks a little golder. This is a little bit lighter lacquer, but it's in just such a nice shape. And again, rare to have an engraved Euro model. So it would be over $1,000 more if this was a US model, just because the mystique. So let's play a little quickie here and have a little fun. And just an absolute gas to play. Crazy, crazy condition. I can see it a little better, the whole schmozzle here. And again, the neck is just in great shape. It just looks like it's been sitting in the closet for 100 years. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I had four Selmers, and I picked one up and I said, "What's wrong with this horn?" I looked at it, it was actually a Mark VII, and we had a couple sixes and one 7 out, and I could tell in two notes that it wasn't the 6. So again, there's no wear on the strap loop. There's usually wear here where your thumb hits, and just absolutely nothing. So anything you want to put into it comes with a beautiful condition. Look at this. This is the old Chesterfield brown case. Usually all the leather binding's gone by now. Just beautiful inside, and just in crazy condition. Got a nice little stick around there from somewhere. But latches are all good, springs are all good, all leather, and just very, very class act on the case. So anyhow, it's going up on Reverb, and any questions, just give me a call, or you can check my page, Steve Gray Saxes. That's with a GRAYSAXES, plural. All right, always get carried away, but again, just marvelous playing. Again, serial number 206, and I don't know, there's a mystique about the pre-100,000 ones, but I tell you, this thing just absolutely screams and plays better than quite a few of the 6s I played in the past. Everyone's different, so this is a keeper. But I can't keep it. I have too many. Got a beautiful one. Anyhow, cool. Over and out.